What's up, Commanders fans? So I thought about something, right? So somebody made me think, right? So I'm on Twitter, and I seen somebody talk about the fact that we got Jaylen Lane now. And now that we have Jaylen Lane, he's going to replace Luke McCaffrey. And I know this ain't much to think about, but when you put it all together and you think about what he brings to the table, and if we keep 6 wide receivers, I can see this happening, right? And the reason I say this is because Jaylen Lane is a combination of the 2 guys that we lost last season. He has the shiftiness of Olamide Zaccheaus, and he has the speed of Dyami Brown. And he can also play on special teams. And he's good at returning punts. And I just feel like he has more to bring to the table than Luke McCaffrey. When I see Luke McCaffrey run or do anything, he doesn't look as shifty as Jaylen Lane. But it's not to say that, Luke McCaffrey is not going to make the team, or it's not to say that Luke McCaffrey, is not going to make the roster at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can still get on the practice squad, But I'm just saying that, if we were to keep 6 wide receivers, I can see Jaylen Lane making it. And if it came down to them 2, I can see him being the winner. And the reason is because it's just he has so much to bring to the table. He's fresh. He's only 22. He has experience. His production was low in college, but his athleticism is very high. And it's like you have so much you can do with that. And he's versatile. So he does everything that Luke do, but much better. And it's like, if it came down to us having Terry, Dyami Brown, Terry, Noah Brown, us having Debo Samuel, right? Us also having Jaylen Lane, us having Michael Gallup, and KJ Osborne, we already at 6. So I don't see, it's either, and I feel like it may be Luke McCaffrey or it may be KJ Osborne that might not be on this team. And honestly, I don't care which way it goes, but I know the Commanders are going to put the best people in those positions. And the reason I say that is because of this is what Adam Peters and Dan Quinn does. They bring in competition, and they get guys to battle it out and, give their best foot forward, put their best foot forward. You know what I'm trying to say. But think about what we were last year and how we got all the way to the NFC Championship with Dyami Brown, Jamison Crowder, Luke McCaffrey, Terry McLaurin, Noah Brown, and KJ Osborne. And he didn't even play. So, and then did I forget anybody? Who I forget? Olamide Zaccheaus, right? So you take out Olamide, you lose Olamide, and he gets picked up by the Bears. Who do we, sub in? We sub in Debo, right? Debo takes that place. We forget all about Olamide, right? And of course, it's like each one of these guys brings something different to the table. And that's what I said we was missing from the beginning. And that's what I said after right before the draft. I was like, all right, we need somebody that is fast to replace Dyami, and we need somebody that is shifty that can replace Olamide. But we also need guys that are reliable, that can do all of the things that we need. We need everything in order to be a well-rounded offense this year. And we also got a guy like the running back that we got from Arizona. He's nice, and he was honestly considered a steal. Everybody feels like he's a steal. And the reason is because we didn't even get to see what he could do in his second year with Arizona. So it's I'm going to talk about that in the next video. But today is all about the wide receivers, because I just feel like, what we had last year was the bare minimum. Like, and then as time went on, you could see that Jayden Daniels had guys, and the guys started to get better. But when you have veterans at every level, and I'm talking, who do we not have that's a veteran at this point? We have Debo, We have Terry. We have Michael Gallup, Noah Brown. These guys have been in the league year after year after year. Of course, Michael Gallup just came back out of retirement. But we're talking about guys that have played at the high level, been that star player or the second star player on their team. And they've been good at being productive. And if we break it down to see what each player brings to our wide receiver room, we got Terry, reliable, good with deep passes, good with sideline catches, good with touchdown passes, in the back of the end zone, the side of the end zone. He can do it all. And reliable, and we all know that the offense works through Terry, and then everybody else gets to eat. And, over the last few years, that's what the past regimes didn't understand about Terry. They didn't understand, let's get the ball to Terry, then we can function. They kept on trying to work around and then get back to him. And even Jayden Daniels had to learn that. And once he understood that, you get Terry his touches, he starts working well through the offense. And then, and that's the thing. People don't understand that you got to build that. You got to, build chemistry with you and the quarterback. And then you got to get them reps in. So as the game's going on, you're getting more comfortable with getting the ball to you instead of getting the ball once every 3 drives. You know what I'm saying? Like, or twice every 3 drives. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not, you got to build that repetition because, wide receivers understand that builds confidence, that builds, they start to build this, idea that, okay, I got this under control. Okay, I'm familiar with catching the football and I just need to get in the repetition. I just need to get in the reps and I need to get going. So a guy like that, Terry, always been reliable year after year, giving us 1,000 yards, even close, almost reaching it in his first year. And just, we know for a fact he's going to give us that at this point, as long as we get him the ball. And as long as he's healthy, he's going to continue to do that. And then Terry, think about it. All these years, Terry is playing. I know he's playing through some injuries, a lot of them. But that's why he's a dog. And that's why he's there at our number 1 wide receiver position. And then we got Debo. He can run it in the backfield. So he can do everything we was trying to do with Diami. And, he's bigger. He's literally bigger. You know what I'm saying? It's Debo. You know what I'm saying? Who? Debo. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so much you can do with Debo. Outside, you can put him on the inside. You can put him in the backfield. Like, he can do so much. And he's going to also be a weapon. And then you got Michael Gallup, sideline catches. He's another reliable catcher. Of course, I don't know where he's at now because of the time he's missed with him retiring. And, who knows if he's going to make the team. Maybe he can't play like he used to back in the day. But we're going to see. He was also one of them guys that was a leader on his team when he played for the Dallas Cowboys. He was a star at one point before CD got there. And then, let's talk about Noah Brown. Like, I keep talking about Noah Brown because he's so important to this offense. Like, I don't think y'all understand. When we couldn't move the ball down the field, he was there to get us penalties. He was there to get us penalties to help us move down the field. Like everything ain't always catching the ball. It's about what you're doing when you don't have the ball or when guys are keeping you from getting to the ball. Are you blocking? Are you having guys, pull on you, hold you back? What are you doing to convince guys to get them off of the most reliable person? Like, he takes the pressure off of Terry, and when the pressure is on Terry, he's allowed to have us get down the field because of the penalties, because guys are pulling on him, holding on him, keeping him from getting to the ball. And that comes in handy a lot. And I'm telling you, it's coming handy many times last season. And then just him being there, even if he was at the bottom of our wide receiver room, I'm glad he's there. And you seen how he showed up for us and almost reaching 500 yards last season. So him, if he probably stayed the whole entire season, he probably would have had probably like 800 yards. But he's definitely a reliable player to have. And then, and it's like each one brings something different. I'm telling you. And then you think about what Jaylen Lane brings. He can fly. He runs a 4.34. Him and Terry the same speed. Terry might be a little faster, but you know, these guys is running, and we needed that. We can't just have Terry doing it all day or Diami doing it all day. And we don't have Diami no more. He's with the Jags. He decided the Jags was better. They were going to pay him $10 million for 1 year, and he went there. I don't care. No, I'm saying that because I'm broke. I was about to lie and say, nah, I ain't going to do it for the money. I would. So, good luck to him. But then you got Michael Gallup. Like I said, he's tough. And, we got KJ Osborne. KJ Osborne, don't underestimate him. Just because he ain't do much last season or nothing at all, don't underestimate the fact that he is a big-bodied receiver. He's more like a Debo, but he doesn't do as much as Debo. He's strong, and he will, try to get you them tough yards. Even with the catch, he's going to try to at least get a extra few yards. You know what I'm saying? So let's not underestimate him. And he's been in the league, and he's been in the league for a while. So everybody on our roster besides Luke McCaffrey and Jaylen Lane have been in the league for a long time and have been proven that they can be somewhat reliable. And if it came down to 6 and it came down to them two, like I said, Jaylen Lane or Luke McCaffrey, I'm taking Jaylen. And that's because he moves. And he can play. You got to have a guy that has the ability to play special teams. And Jaylen is that. And, man, I'm feeling much better. Like last season, we had I give our roster, a wide receiver room, a C. A C. This year, we went up. I'm going to put it that way. We went up. This is how could I say? This is an A. I'll give it an A. I might be pushing. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about the wide receiver room. Do you feel like we just went up? Or do you feel like, what more do you think we need? Because we do have a big body. Big body is of course he's not big, but he's tall. We have a tall person in the locker room, which is, I can't think his name, Brown. Noah Brown, who's 6'2". We got a speedy receiver, Jaylen Lane. We got another speedy receiver, but who's also reliable, Terry McLaurin. We got a Debo, who's a weapon. And then we got KJ Osborne, who's, in my opinion, a wide receiver. You got to have a tough wide receiver that can just give you a little something. You know what I'm saying? Just give me a short down catch and you know what I'm saying? Give me a little something, And then we got Luke McCaffrey. I don't know what Luke McCaffrey is. I'm still trying to figure that out. If y'all could tell me, honestly, he wasn't bad last year. If this was last year, he's cool. But it's a new year. We need something fresh. I don't know what he is. Hopefully, during camp, he can, boost it up, turn up. He can show us what he really got, what he really is, and what he can really do. Of course, he has a lot of veterans in his room now that might boost him up, that might, allow him to play different, play better, give us something more, something fresh. But I'm not going to act like Luke wasn't reliable. I'm just saying, if it came out of them two, I'm telling you who I'm keeping. Luke going to go to the practice squad. And that's just how it is. But, like I said, if you had to choose, who you picking? And, at the end of the day, it ain't up to me. It's up to Dan Quinn, Adam Peters, and them guys. Cliff Kingsbury. This is their job. But if you were in that position or any one of those positions, what would you do? Just want y'all to know something, man. I'm out.